The chapter of factoring has a whole bunch of different parts to it. Starting out with the greatest common factor is probably the easiest because you're literally just looking for greatest common factors. So you're looking at both of these and saying, what do those have in common? Well, they're both divisible by 6, and they both have at least 1k. So 6k is their greatest common factor. So that's going to sit outside. And then inside is going to be what's left when you divide it. So 6 divided by 6 is 1, and when you take out 1k, you have k squared. Then 12 divided by 6 is 2, and then you've totally gotten rid of that k. So this is your answer. Same thing on the second one. Looking at that, my greatest common factor that divides both of those is 8. So 8 comes outside, and we divide out the inside. 24 divided by 8 is 3. The m's didn't go anywhere. And then 56 divided by 8 is minus 7. So another way that you could look at this is by kind of drawing it out. So you have 3xxxy and 3xyy. So the greatest common factor that they both have a 3. So we're going to take that out. They both have an x. We're going to take that out. And they both have at least one y. So we'll take that out in front. So 3xy is what comes out in front. What's left inside is now what's left. The only thing left is x squared, because there's 2 of them, and the only thing left over here is plus y. So that's another way to look at it besides just dividing them out. So what's in common between these two? Well, they both have a common 10, and they both have at least 4 y's. So 10y to the 4th is your greatest common factor, and then left inside is what happens when you divide those. So the first one, we got rid of the 10 and the y, so we just have x. Here we got rid of 10, and we got rid of 4 of the y's, so x plus y. Okay, same thing here. They're just a little bit bigger this time. So you're looking at the same thing. What do these have in common? Well, the biggest thing that this has in common is 10. They're all divisible by 10. So when you divide out what's left of this, you have negative 7x squared, 10x, and 3. And you can't take out a variable for that, so that's your final answer. So same thing on this one. What do all 3 of them have in common? They have a 10 that you can take out. Then dividing those, I have negative 10n to the 4th, 8n, and 1. So looking at my next row, they just have added a couple more variables into this. So the greatest thing that they have in common, when you look at all of these, they're all divisible by 7. Then we look at our x's. Well, how many x's do all of them have? They have at least 1 x. And how many y's do all of them have? At least 4. So 7xy to the 4th. And then when you divide that out, 14 divided by 7 is 2. I just took out 1x, so I have x to the 3rd. And I took out 4 of the y's, so I have 1 y left. So my second one then, I divided by 7, so I just have 7. I took out 1x, so I have x squared left, and I took out all 4 of the y's, so there's no y's left. 56 divided by 7 is 8. Then I took out the 1x that's there, and 4 of the y's, so I have 1 left. And that's your final answer. On number 8, my greatest common factor, they're all 3 divisible by 4. The biggest number of x's they have is x squared, and they all have at least 1 y. So 4x squared y goes outside. Then inside, I have a negative sign, because you didn't divide out the negative. You got rid of 2 of the x's, so you have x squared, and you got rid of 1 of the y's. Then my next one is going to be 5y squared. And my last one is going to be 6, and that's it. Okay, so let's look at our last two. Really, they're all just the same. There's just more parts to this. So this one's greatest common factor is 2a. They're all divisible by 2 and at least 1a. So when I divide this out, I have 5a to the 6th, 6a squared, just a single a, and then 4. And my last one, greatest common factor on this that they're all divisible by is 10x squared. So that's what's going to go on the outside. Then inside of this, dividing each of those, I have negative 5x to the 3rd, then minus 3x squared, 6x, and minus 2. Okay, and that's your greatest common factor factoring.